Cool. It's working. Sounds working. You're working. Dope. Hello. Welcome back to the second installment of the Ashien mystery. In the last session, I guess you call them, the what was that? What was that thing I was calling you as a group? Dang. All right, well, just pretend like I said whatever that joke callback was right there. In the last session, we met all of our houses. There was a murder in front of a lot of people. Well, two murders, actually. The first one occurred during a duel out on the arena. We also met a host of goblins. We met a very kindly old woman and several small people in very nice clothes attempting to push a, let's be honest, it's a multi-level marketing scheme for pots of gold run by leprechauns. So we met all of these individuals. Am I missing anyone? I don't think so. And then the sigil began. The drums came in. There was a unbelievable display of magical power. And then as the emperor began his speech welcoming people and talking about the wealth of the previous year and the dangers that lie ahead, as well as potential growth and value for the future, he, along with everyone else, discovered his dead daughter, and in his moment of grief, slammed his sword down through her body into a monolith that was rising out of the ground from an underground chamber, and in doing so created a sphere that blew past everyone and surrounded the sigil, cutting everyone off from leaving. He then demanded that the people responsible be brought to him and said no one can leave until that occurs, and everyone pretty much vacated the area in order to discuss, in order to plan, and really to conduct their business, because they are still here for sigil business. And during a conversation over appetizers and bowls of clams or something, it was decided that the group at the several tables would meet at the hydroponics bay of the Coggers area, or hydro-grown plant area of the Coggers. It's an airship, so yeah. So that's where we find everyone. There are several new characters. If I can get them into the... I don't know if I can get them into the building. Oh, I lost that one entirely. Cool. Anyway, we find ourselves here in the hydroponics area of this airship. As everyone enters, there is a great deal of machinery going on all over the space. There are cogs built into everything that are actively turning, including the floor, so you may need to watch your step as you walk around. We have Bramwell, I believe, is the Cogger representative.
Yeah, he's cogging.
Is that a toilet? That is a toilet. There are turkeys wandering around.
Can I see the room so I can, kind of...
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Oh, whoops, sorry.
So it's in his bedroom then.
Well, it's an open space.
Okay.
There are two beds for each representative. There are turkeys wandering around, and a toilet behind a curtain that is just a hole that goes to the bottom of the ship.
Turkeys are active right now.
And of course, along the wall, your hydroponics setup.
Okay.
So... we have Bramwell. We also have the other representatives of the group who, I guess, woke up at a reasonable hour and made it. So, Iker, who do we have from the I don't have your sheet open. My bad. Your
That's
house.
all right.
Grant one.
That's all right. So from Sparks, we have Linny. She is the house steward. She's a short halfling who has like a contagious cheer about her, and she wears her hair piled up on top of her head with a laurel sort of crown in front of it. Dressed in green.
What is happening? Oh. Awesome. Pretty close. And maybe I can pull this in now. Spro right here. Problem is I can't bring them up because we're not in build mode. That's the problem. Here's what we're gonna do. Just pull you in like this. We also have Fair's representative from music. I guess I'll just say Spark and music. I was gonna say the entire thing, but
I'd say the entire thing. Yeah, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
so Spark is well, you know, it's very specific, and I wanna make sure that I get all the endings to all the words accurately represented there. So, you know, I don't want to cut anything off. It is definitely the Society for the Preservation of Arboreal Retreats, Courtyards, and Spaces.
Yep. There you go.
I had to scroll in your sheet. and of course, you know, music. Of course, it barely needs to be said.
Barely.
But it is the Magical User Society of Integration and Community. First try.
Well done.
Hey, Shrimps. Welcome.
I forgot that it was a different Discord channel.
Oh, yeah, I got you. My
And I've been
bad.
sitting here going, why is no one in voice? What the heck? Are we starting late? No, just me.
We could do it in the other one, but like, I was like, oh, I don't want to, you know, have random. Not that I care if random people come in, but I was like, oh, I don't know about that. So just to make it easy, is Bubbles joining us from Wagon Boys
I don't know.
at the hydroponics bay of the cog
Well,
ship?
I got some letter with discrepancies about stuff.
Yeah.
apparently-
That would not be here, but if you wanted to handle that, you wouldn't be here, I guess. Or you can come and handle that later if you want.
What? Okay. I don't know what's going on.
All right, cool. Well, so in the recap, your group of people who met over tables agreed that they wanted to view the hydroponics area of the cog airship. So you all
I
agreed to
forgot.
meet. Yeah, you all agreed to meet here in the morning. We'll call it late morning so that everyone has time to prep and stuff. But that's where we find ourselves. And then we also have. So yeah, it's those four. And yeah, here we are in the hydroponics area, handled by Bramwell and his associate cog person.
Cog person.
I don't know if you want to run a tour, Itro, because you've never been in the space, but
I can. I gotta fix my microphone here because.
all right, cool, no problem. As Shrimps pointed out, the business of the Sigil is ongoing, so there are advertisements and letters and information sort of being shared at all times. Gob, you're also welcome to join this scene if you'd like, if you want to bust in here for some reason that you can think of.
Yeah, okay. I'm thinking. I
Alright,
want to
cool.
watch a little bit first.
Yeah, I
see if
figured,
can
yeah.
Find a decent moment to barge in.
It is an airship, so while you
Yeah,
would have
yeah.
a real ship, that might be something too.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking right now. Hey, how did you get your ship to fly?
Am I better? Okay, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you sound good.
Yeah, I can see myself lighten up.
Awesome.
Okay. Should I be in Bramwell, or should I just give you a tour as, or you?
Yeah, as Bramwell, this is a tour meeting for the people you met last night. So,
All right.
Bramwell.
Everyone, welcome to the cog ship, the cog ship, cog one. Cog Force One. Cog Force One. Welcome to Cog Force One. We have everything you could mostly possibly need on an airship. We have we got the cogs on the floor. Watch your step, by the way, because everything kind of turns. We kind of, also be careful of the turkeys as well. I don't know what's worse, the cog or the turkey, because they're pretty bad. Let's be honest. I mean, if you get caught in the cog, you're gonna lose a foot. Which is, though we can't help you, we can add, mechanical foot if that, gets sheared off in the cogs. But anyways,
But the turkeys not often get stuck in the cogs.
they can hop around and stuff. They get used to it,
Do I see many
Fine,
one-legged turkeys?
They get used. They're not here for fun. Got to eat something. Yeah, it's a very open space here as well. You may notice, we just have the bed over there next to our nutrient intake circular device there. Royal nutrient intake throne room. Right there. Everything gets used, by the way. I mean, we use the blood, we use the urine, feces, everything gets recycled here. We're a very clean, green steam company. And we got the hydroponics, which everyone was very interested about. I don't know what the big deal is. It's just vegetables that grow in water.
Oh,
How do they get their nutrients? I mean, it seems kind of weird that they would just be in water and not like soil.
Oh yeah, just from the nutrient intake over there. You can sit down yourself. We can turn away and you can feed it some nutrients yourself. I mean,
Is
if
that
you
a
want, we
toilet?
can put the privacy curtain around. We do have the privacy curtain we can put around. You gotta go. I mean, it also helps power the ship a little bit. There's something called methane we learned about.
so all that gin
Combustible.
that you gave out to everyone.
Oh, it's been,
Yesterday.
filtered with urine.
Huh.
And
I'm
all
very
that's
glad
been
I
growing.
didn't take a ball.
The botanicals are all growing from us. Comes out of us into back, it just recycles itself. We recycle here. We do a lot of steam. It's good for the environment, we've noticed. It's nice and clean, just water. And then everything gets filtered with the charcoal and the sand and the clay and wood and whatever else we find around, little pieces of metal. We'll kind of put that in there too, because that kind of gets rid of some of the stains and whatnot. Smears
Right.
sometimes. You just flush some metal down there and cleans it all up.
Do you
Anyone
know what
willing to
towns look
deposit?
like?
Anyone you would want to maybe start your own
No.
plant? We can start your
No.
own little. Or if maybe your society would like to integrate, we could maybe make a deal or something. Growing a
have a-
lot of good plants here. You see that flower up there? Look at that thing glowing. It's coming out of the whole entire. It's growing around the steam pipe up there. Look at that thing. You don't see a hellfire plant like that just anywhere.
Is it all right if I get a closer look?
Oh, go ahead.
All right. Lenny will go up to the plants and start inspecting them and try to assess their health level.
Okay, yeah. I guess just roll a brilliance on that. mostly looking for things that are odd, I guess, from there. Because obviously it's a bunch of plants that are growing in water. It's not, a secret, but maybe there's something else there.
Just a 6.
A
Grow
6.
crystals and stuff.
Yeah, so you see a bunch of plants. Obviously, they're all pretty vibrant. They have unique smells. So as you walk up, there are strong smells coming sort of from each bay, depending on what the plants are there. But as a whole, it would be a little overwhelming standing that close to them.
Okay.
Nice.
Good.
Not that way.
You can also smoke some of these as well. We do have medicinal herbs to smoke and ingest or snort, I guess, if that's your thing. We also mainly use it to make potions. I'm an alchemist, so I use a lot of this to make potions and whatnot to heal and heal. I don't really know what else to do with the potion. And
So
make gin too. We also make booze, but that's
Where
neither here
where
nor
exactly
there.
are these medicinal plants?
I mean, we're right there.
Yep,
I've been
but
explaining this the whole time. I don't know what you've
no,
been
you
doing.
said you were growing vegetables.
Well, I mean, we grow, plants.
Yeah, well, there's
I mean,
you know
you
Where are
can, you
the-
can
medicinal herbs exactly. Could you just point me to them?
they're the ones right there next to the shitter. I mean, the intake, right there, the bottom shelf.
So it's
Just 2
Bubbles
below the
is-
hellfire. The hellfire herb up there.
so Bubbles is just gonna casually stroll on over and peruse the.
We have a boost
medicinal
of the
herbs.
intake just in case.
No, it's fine. It's a very earthy smell.
Hmm.
Are you gonna take any or anything?
I actually patented this system myself. Actually, this is one of my designs as an alchemist because we needed to join the the Coggington.
Could
This is
you
actually one
maybe
of my.
explain a little bit about how you came up with the design? And while he's blabbing on, Bubbles is going to casually, start plucking leaves and whatnot.
Okay. Are you trying to hide that?
Well, yeah. Why do you think I want him to talk about it? No, please go ahead. Explain how you came up with the idea for this. I'm fascinated. I can't wait to hear it.
If you'll roll presence, I guess, while he's talking.
Well, you see, well, in Coggington, we have quite a nice tower that goes up quite high above the clouds, and it's where we kind of look out and observe and just kind of think, what do we need that is better for the society? Like, what can we improve on? What can we innovate on? And
What you get?
as I was up
Shrimps.
there,
20.
Oh, okay. Are you trying to watch the plants, Bramwell, or are you just letting it go?
I don't care.
All right, cool. Then yeah, you collect, I guess, as much as you want. You're just stuffing your pockets.
Please go on. Yes.
I mean, I enjoyed some of those. Anyways,
Bramwell,
I think we grow. They're plants. I don't care.
while you're talking, you sense someone outside using your brand of messaging outside. Just like a message and then maybe 2 more real quick outside.
What?
Huh?
You know how you have your telepathy or whatever?
Yeah.
Or is that the other person?
That's he has Elon has telepathy.
Oh, okay. So that's the other one?
Bramwell doesn't have it. Yeah.
Okay. So you don't recognize that. Instead of that, a gentleman Yeah, it's cool. A gentleman walks in, actually. I just hit a button. This person is very tall, very skinny, lanky, but is covering it with a bunch of armor and stuff. Very posh, very wearing the house colors of House Harthen, and the person walking in. Does anyone think they would know the prince? Having seen him somewhere?
No.
All right.
I'm more dealing with Bisk.
Yeah,
I
true.
guess I'm not sure.
So this gentleman walks in. He has several attendants that are wearing the colors. You would recognize him as a person of Hearth and House for sure, even if you didn't necessarily know who he was. And he'll just walk in and stand at the door for a second and take in all the people. And then as he eyes everyone, he says, "Excuse me, I'm looking for someone who represents the cog. Anyone?"
Yeah, get
I
it. Yeah,
point
get
directly
in
at-
line. Yeah, get in line. We're doing a tour of the whole hydroponics place, and I'm
In
just about to
line?
finish up telling about how I came up with this brilliant idea here.
Excuse me, he's very affronted by telling him to get in line. Absolutely shocked, right? And he says, how dare you, sir?
One here. I'm sorry. We're all in the cog ship. We're all one. So
All of these people are here for the cog?
we're,
I very quickly sort of step to the side as if I'm not in the line. There's no line.
No,
Just
no
exploring,
line at all.
looking at the wall at the moment, the opposite side.
Watch out for the turkeys.
Yeah, I probably would trip over a turkey. Backing up.
Right. The more he witnesses this room, the more he's very much thinking that maybe, he's got that face of what is happening? Why did I even put my presence in here? But he says he pulls out a solid gold necklace with a big cog on it, and he says, "I'm an active participating member of the cog, and you're telling me to wait behind these non-believers? Oh, I can't even."
Okay. I didn't. You should have announced your presence. I mean, and also you would know as being a cogger, we're all one here. So I'll let that
Of course.
slide.
Yeah.
So what's going on, cogger?
He takes a moment, just to compose
You need to
himself.
sit down on the throne. You want to go sit down on the throne for a minute?
Maybe he needs some of these herbs. He seems to have a breathing problem. He's huffing and puffing a lot.
He never looks directly at the toilet. Not one time do his eyes ever touch the toilet. And he says, "Ugh, I do not. In fact, I'm here to speak to representatives of the cog about solving this business and allowing us to leave this desert paradise, I suppose."
Okay.
So, as you know, my father has basically presented a deal, if you will, in order to allow us to leave. Find who's responsible for the murder of my dear, wonderful sister, and then we can leave. And I, of course, if you will pursue the investigation and bring me someone that I can throw before my father, I will reward you handsomely with a deal of my own.
Okay.
Perfect. Excellent. What can I do for you?
Can we just put that in the back pocket or something? Like a favor for
A blanket favor?
Yeah, like a blank check.
From the
You ever,
Prince of Harthen House?
You ever seen that play, Blank Check?
I'm not sure if I was thinking, a sizable donation to the cog, or possibly I don't know, maybe lands, maybe you need some sort of expansion to Coggerton. You know, I'm very amenable to a solution. You know, we could come to some terms, I'm sure.
Do you have a princess?
A princess?
Are you like engaged, or do you have like maybe we can marry off one of our, you know, ladies to you, and then we'll be in line for something cool.
A political religious marriage in exchange? Yes. Well, I am next in line for the throne. I'm not sure I could swing something like that.
We got a lot of beautiful men and women. I don't know how you float a robot. I mean, I don't know if you want a mechanical.
Would you be interested in perhaps elevation of the cog as the Empire's religion?
You know, I might have to take this up with the Grand Marshal.
The Grand Marshal, of course. He nods like he knows what that is. Yes, excellent.
I mean, you would know him. He probably met him. Being a cogger.
Of course I have. Yes, definitely. Do you want to like roll perception?
Can I roll like some sort of?
yeah. Like just roll brilliance and check him out. You're also the steward, right? That's definitely the sound of rolling.
Sorry, what was it?
Brilliance?
Oh,
Brilliance. Yeah.
10.
He seems pretty disdainful of the entire place. Even though he is wearing the cog, he doesn't want to be there or in this space, and he doesn't necessarily want to talk to you or any of these people. He's got attendants behind him, which no one else here definitely has any attendants or anything like that.
Okay. I mean, I can't make a deal because I'm not the man, and like the Grand Marshal could do it. The champion Grand Marshal Elon could do it.
Of course.
Somewhere.
How about we agree to meet? I'll ask several other houses because, you know, it doesn't seem like you're raring to go, I guess, and I'll if no one comes by and brings me someone to offer before my father, maybe we could meet tomorrow night over a nice stew. Have you had the clams in the other pavilion? They're marvelous.
Oh, but I can bring some herbs or something. Maybe some.
Sure.
Gin.
Gin.
The
sounds
great cog gin.
Wonderful. What's the vintage on that?
It's what year is it?
I don't know. Just throw one out. It doesn't matter.
It's a 35-year-old gin party.
That works. I see. Well, how about this? Meet me tomorrow at my father's house. He's not using it. He's sitting out there in the stupid amphitheater. So, meet me at my father's house and tomorrow night, and we will have a discussion. Perhaps there are other ventures that we can pursue with the Cog's name.
That sounds good. Hey. Can I give you a parting gift?
Of course. And he like
take
motions...
one of these turkeys.
Please. Of course.
They're.
He motions an attendant. I'm just gonna roll for the attendant. Oh, okay. So the attendant he sends forward, picks out a two-legged turkey, and it moves through the cogs, and the attendant spends quite a bit of time comically spinning around on the floor, attempting to chase this turkey and like through you all. He's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, excuse me. Let me just." And then the entire time the turkey's over there going, "Woo, woo," trying to get away.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. He does eventually catch a turkey and bring it back to the prince.
One you like? You sure you don't want a different one?
I believe we're done here. And he just turns and walks away.
Wait.
Like,
Before you go,
yes.
You said you were also having this deal open to other houses, possibly?
Possibly one or two that have been known to be reliable.
Well,
just
I
sort of
can
waves at
guarantee
you.
that House Sparks has been reliable. We're the ones that run the pavilion garden area.
The green space that my sister was so interested in. Huh. Well, he very disdainfully eyes you up and down.
I mean,
I'll
I'd
think
really
on it.
like to hold justice for Lance as well.
Of course, justice. Yes. Perfect. I will send you a message by way of one of my attendants once I have more time in my incredibly busy schedule. And he continues to walk away. And then his attendants follow, one of them with a turkey. You just hear it like fade away in the distance.
Thought you would hear the turkey outside, but
That would have been really funny. Yeah, if at any time you do hear a turkey, it's probably one that's just escaped and is walking around the sigil somewhere.
the micro. Well, if I'm talking, you'll probably hear it, but it's been quiet.
That was a mighty brave of you to volunteer to look for this shady organisation that just showed off an incredibly powerful thing and, you know, allying yourself with a political fact. That is very dangerous.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're ready to do this sort of thing?
Are you
If you're
talking
talking
to me
to me-
or him?
Who are you
I'm
talking to?
I'm talking general to both of you because you both kind of accepted this.
Oh, I didn't accept anything. I gotta approve it with the Grand Marshal. I don't make deals. I'm just a little squire boy.
I mean, we really have several reasons we should help. And I don't know. I'm going to kind of peek to make sure the prince has been far away.
Oh yeah. At this point, you can see him. He's striding the back to his father's house, which is actually on this side of the sigil. So you can see him walking along the walkway.
And I'm not 100% sure that he is one of those reasons. But Lance was just a lovely person, and I think she does deserve justice. And it is a good point that we're going to be stuck here if someone doesn't figure it out.
I hope they've, thought about that, the food situation. We get pretty messy in here.
Mm-hmm. Well, and think of like
That's why I was here.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think you could expand this sort of system and point towards the hydroponics and?
I mean, we don't really have a lot of the resources on the ship because we have like a room of weapons. We got a room of just potions. We got we'd have to do some serious maintenance. Unless people are, we could put it up. If you guys got airships, we could always put it in your ship. I don't know.
I do no. It's not a normal thing to have an airship around here.
Mm-mm. And I do have to point out that it still has to
Crossed
take
my arms.
time.
Pretty
What'd you
cool,
say?
right? Huh?
Mm-hmm. But the plants, I mean, they still have like normal growing times, right?
These are GMO plants.
What? What?
We've modified the seeds with potions that we I'm an alchemist, and we have tinkerers, alchemists, there's all kinds of us, and we've modified the seeds so the plants grow faster, or they auto flower.
You say we, but it sounds like you've done it.
No,
just-
we are a collective
Okay.
of individuals. I've done things, but it's more or less we as a whole.
Okay, so you have, eaten these, made sure they're okay.
Everything's all good. these plants all grow, they seed, they flower, they spread. You ever seen a strawberry grow?
No.
Or they send out like little other plants, like little runners, and then those grow. Not like that, in a sense. They grow. Oh gosh, I mean, it depends on the herb or the vegetable we're growing. Some take up to 90 days to, like the flowers. Some of those flowers they auto flower, so they go through their own little cycle and
Mm-hmm. Which is
plant
time.
and stuff, and yeah, just a little bit of time. But we can accelerate the process with also the nutrients. Really encourage, boost the growth, like blow up that plant. Holy moly! Especially after a good dinner.
Right. Okay. Well, maybe a last resort then.
And hey, if you wanna, this is gonna be the future. I'm telling you.
All right. Well, if you have us covered on food, I guess.
Well,
What if-
about if I'm covering you? I don't. Or were you like some? Are you joining us here? Or are you
I'm
join
at the general we, like not necessarily me, but
Oh,
what about like the goblins are going to get really anxious soon if they're trapped here.
no, we're in a ship. They're small. I don't know how they're gonna reach it.
The same way we reached it, probably.
Oh, I invited you up though. We walked up the stairs. We could just remove those stairs and just kind of float.
I think they just sort of launch each other.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they just throw each other up.
Yeah,
When you saw miss, they wouldn't.
A lot of goblins. I would like to see that actually. So maybe we should try that out. Maybe we could use them if they can get high enough. We can get out of this place.
I think the goblin's anxiousness is more of a sort of an indication of everyone else's anxiousness as well. When they start getting hungry.
The thing around the sigil is also a sphere. You can definitely see it in the sky. It actually makes sort of that magnifying sort of a prism effect. So occasionally there are like crazy colors that sweep across the ground. So you'll just be walking and then, blues and greens and yellows and all that stuff. But it is a sphere.
Uh-huh.
Uh-huh.
Yep. That'll be cool to see.
Okay, I was just making sure you knew you couldn't fly out.
Cool to see.
Okay. As a collective, do y'all have anywhere you want to go or any leads you want to pursue? If you'd like, I can also sort of explain the space you see in front of you as you step out onto the stairs, if you're ready to leave.
Yeah, I think I would be more interested in getting in touch with Bisk and maybe other members of the royal family as well,
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
rather than just take the princess offer or try and get in touch with him.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're gonna seek out Bisk.
Yeah.
Is that sort of a group decision that everyone would like to do?
I could say I'm gonna go and have a look for the steward, the Bisk, the royal house. He's the person who helps the king do all the everything.
You know him?
Yeah, through letters and such. I haven't met him yet.
Okay, well.
Well, again, it's sort of my higher ups that sort of met him before.
I think it's a good idea to at least try.
I just don't think we should be allying ourselves with any political factions without finding out what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And Bubbles, with your pocket full of sunshine, that sound good to you?
Well, he's kind of been chewing on leaves and stuff, so
Okay. Shrimps, if you'll roll grit roll.
okay. Oh dear God.
Genetically modified drugs. Oh God. Extra potency.
20? Wait, I
Oh,
rolled
okay.
a 19, but my grit is, I don't know how this sheet works.
No, you're good. You rolled a 19 and you got +1, right?
No, it's -3 for grit.
Oh, okay,
no,
okay.
yeah, that's the right one, yeah.
Yeah, so
So-
16. So Bubbles, in sort of collecting random amounts of drugs of some sort, and putting them into his pocket and then chewing on them. Most of the effects are pretty good, and you're gonna feel, light and floaty and generally agreeable and
Sure, whatever
happy?
you guys say, I'm there for it.
yeah, all
Sounds
right.
good to me.
Cool,
I do
cool.
wonder what was that.
What? No, this nothing. It's just that.
Sorry if I'm
generally
rude.
Happy person.
You've got. Who are you? You've just been following us around.
What? I'll have you know, thank you very much, that I am the steward of the wagon park.
Oh, okay.
Around.
Well,
Very important.
Well, okay.
You know, where we are.
That's fine. You just hadn't said anything to us. You just kind of met up with
I
us
was-
and
I
took
was
some
talking-
gin.
I don't drink gin. I don't drink alcohol. Alcohol's bad for you.
What are you talking about? It's not bad for you.
Yeah. It's personal preference. Thank you very much. I'm not passing judgment on you. You're passing judgment on me, questioning who I am, why I'm here. Sure,
As-
you're not a lackey of the prince?
No,
Same
I've made that
attitude.
quite clear.
Whoa, accusations flying now. As the party as a whole sort of begins to leave, I assume Bramwell's staying in order to work on the hydro or whatever.
I go and sit on the throw. I got to work on the nutrient intake here.
Oh, time to leave.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. You leave to the
Something coming out of
sounds.
all the holes, I think.
The party leaves to the sounds of turkeys and gears and the
Suspect.
I had that
Sounds.
fart noise.
yeah, the hydroponics. And then standing at the top of this, I'll just give you sort of a rundown of what you could see, and where Bisk has been seen most recently, because he is a prominent figure. From here, you could see like nests on top of this more close building, with half avian individuals on top. There's a completely wrecked wagon on the wall, sort of pushed up right here. The building in the far area is known to be the emperor's house, but the other members of his house also stay there. There's a bunch of sort of rock formations over here, and then you can see the garden space way in the distance, the top of a ship across the way, and Bisk, who is the steward, has been sort of in the center with the king, who has not left, has not moved from the space where he sits and watches the sword through his daughter's body. But Bisk has been handling things. or anyone really who can recognize his title would see him moving from here inside the far building, which is where the House of Note is to keep records and things like that. And then, coming back and forth, making sure the king's all right, sort of handling everything. And then if you do choose to move that way, there is also a door standing in the stadium, sort of on the opposite half of the monolith.
Okay. I'm going to go and speak to. Is anyone else moving sort of into the center, or is it like the king completely alone?
The king has been almost entirely alone. Several people have approached, said some things. Obviously, you don't know what it is. You can see hand motions if you're just like leaning over and watching into the arena. There have been several small fights that occurred within the arena, but it is like a free open space, and there isn't a ton of entry or anything like that. Most people are waiting for it to blow over, basically, it seems like.
Yeah. Oh, well, I'm going to go and speak to you. Do you want to come with me? It seems that it might get a bit more attention than usual going out there right now.
I'll definitely come along.
Okay.
We will...
I'm terrible with the character names. I'm going to sort of side-eye Shrimpkin's character. Yeah. If they give a response.
Bubbles is he's quite happy.
Yeah, just out of it.
Well, go ahead, assume that.
As
Okay.
Fine.
As Bubbles does come out through the arena and along the walkway and stuff, with the like colors rippling around and everything, he's gonna see some insane colors, far more vibrant than he has been seeing so far. Like vibrant, moving, almost physical colors as they sweep occasionally across the land, the dirt, and then also I do think it's time, if you're ready, Gob.
So what are you thinking?
I think, unfortunately, Bisk and hold on, let me get his actual name. Gerald. I do think, well, they both look the same, so that's going to be weird. But I think that, Gob, your character is probably having a discussion about the fact that the sphere blew up half of the ship you brought.
Yeah, that would definitely be something I would be dealing with.
As the sphere expanded, it made a push, basically, and it knocked some people over and did, heavy damage to some of them. But because the sphere is a sphere, it didn't encompass the entirety of the ship. So the portion that wasn't encompassed experienced the outward force of it expanding, and it basically blew half of your ship out into the desert and then exposed quite a bit of information about the ship to anyone who's outside the sphere, basically.
Okay.
So I do think that would be a discussion you would have with the steward, probably right here in the center, not at the king. That would be an odd choice to make, but maybe, snagging him along the way.
Okay.
Ooh.
So the the main guy, the hero, and the steward, they would be talking in the middle of the arena, you think?
Yeah, but you'll only play one. For the campaign, you're just picking which one you are, and then we're swapping at sort of times that make sense, maybe halfway through.
Okay,
so
because I don't know if I want to control two.
Yeah, no, just one.
So
yeah.
I don't know how I would talk to myself.
It's really fun to listen to you talk to yourself as both of them, but I don't think you would, no.
Yeah, I don't think I'm up for it.
It's just steward or champion.
Okay, I'll get the champion.
All right, cool. And I'm gonna change Nah, no, I'll just leave Bisk. Who cares?
How would the steward respond though?
So yeah, I'm gonna play him. So here we go.
Oh,
you
okay.
ready?
Right.
Yeah. As the party walks up, recognizing Bisk as a formal dignitary who's been working with the king, you also saw him during the event, right? The king was up giving his speech. Bisk was standing behind him, so everyone sort of knows what he looks like. And as the party walks up, you locate. Am I missing someone? Oh no. Okay. Yeah. You locate this conversation, sort of mid-conversation, and Bisk says, "So what you're telling me is you're requesting reparations for a ship you brought here of your own volition."
Just so they got the imagery, is basically your very stereotypical pirate captain with a parrot on his shoulder. Okay,
Right.
It's a green parrot.
Oh, I apologize. Anything else you want to describe about your character? You're welcome to go into it.
I don't think so. Nothing
Okay.
too outlandish, except for an eye patch that is very, very detailed and very fancy.
Perfect. And
Okay.
yeah, Bisk just says, what sort of recompense are you even seeking? This is a desert, after all.
What do you mean, well, recompenses? My ship, I brought it here, it's damage to my property. Hey, damage to my property.
Yes, according to these records that I've brought from the House of Note, this indicates you rebuilt the ship here piece by piece. I would argue that while the ship is currently in pieces, it was in pieces when it arrived as well.
But then get me the pieces then. It's all the way over there. I can't get it. God damn it. God damn it.
Yes, we have been looking into this sphere of magical influence. However, we have been unable to penetrate it yet. So, unfortunately, you'll have to wait until we bring it down.
Well, besides, I clearly saw some planks get shattered, and it wasn't like that when we brought it in. We demand at least...
And he stops and starts counting in his fingers.
5 tons of hardtacks. Hey. Hardtacks.
5 tons of hardtack.
That seems about right. Yep.
I don't know if you're aware. And he like looks you up and down and then looks at your parrot and he says, "Sir, but we're all trapped inside a sphere with no access to the outside. Where would I even find 5 tons of hardtack?"
Well, I do not demand immediate payment. You can pay me in at least 5 years. It's about right. Yep.
If that's the case, why don't you just wait until the sphere goes down and collect your ship and depart as it came? Why do you seek any sort of reconciliation for something that you simply have to wait to resolve?
How do you fix a broken plank, you dimwit? Plank is broken.
I would say that you would fix the broken plank.
Well, it was not me that broke it. If I broke your little thingamajig, then you would need me to recompense you, wouldn't you?
Is that a threat on Empire business and Empire buildings? Are you threatening some sort of damage here?
The parrot is gonna bounce up and down. But the guy, the pirate himself, is just gonna go like shake his hands like,
"Oh, no, didn't mean it like that, but you know, it just seems logical."
Are you hiding the fact that there is a threat here? Do you think?
Yeah, it's almost like the parrot came through with the actual.
Yeah. All right. I'll roll brilliance, and I guess I'll take presence from you, and we'll
Okay.
see what happens. Where is Bisque? I got a lot of pages. Oh, he's in the.
Okay, that was a 10.
Modifiers. Okay. Bisque identifies your bird as a bird, and they do all sorts of things. So he just says, "Okay, of course. I can't imagine anyone would threaten the Empire at this point. Now then, what I can do for you is have someone on the outside of the sphere investigate your claims, and then
That
I
won't
can."
be necessary. Nope.
He definitely
What do
doesn't want
you-
someone snooping inside
Well,
the ship from outside.
At this point, I can't stop anyone from investigating either. Are you sure you don't want us to send some sort of written message up against the sphere so that someone can walk by and investigate the boards and planks and so forth?
Well, there's some.
He starts getting nervous.
Well, we don't really need 5 tons of our tax anyway, right? It's just, and if you were to recompense everyone, then and you would be recompensing a lot of people, right?
Of course.
A lot of people.
Bisque makes some notes at this point. Yes, of course. I see. So, I believe we are in agreement that because of the almost environmental experience that we've all been through, because of course who can say where the sphere is actually drawing its power from. I'd like to point out that acts of elemental damage, nature and the environment, so forth, are not necessarily covered against most agreements upon which we have at the sigil, ergo to 4. I don't think it's an accommodation that I can make for you. However, I am willing to send over, say, pavilions or some form of shade if you and your house need housing, if the ship is not livable anymore.
All right, appreciate that, but we believe we'll be staying in the sheep. It's a good ship.
Sure it is. Perfect. Well, if this concludes our business, I'll be back off to the House of Note to keep this in the records.
You keep what in the records? If you don't mind my asking.
A record of our agreement that no reconciliation needs to occur after this event.
Yep.
He kind of stops himself from complaining.
That seems all right. Yep.
Excellent. On behalf of the Empire, I thank you for your attendance and consideration during these times of import. And, just turns with his paperwork and stuff. You're all standing there for the whole thing, but he's just gonna start walking away because people are always around him all the time.
Sir, excuse me.
Yes.
Hello, sir. I think we've only communicated via letter, but I am Gerald Whiffle of the House of Music.
Whiffle. Music. He skims through some notes and he says yes, I do believe we've worked together on several magical studies.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes. What can the Empire do for you, Mr. Whiffle?
Well, I was obviously wondering about the whole affair and how things are going. I did just witness the prince offering a few houses some work in discovering what's going on.
Of course. We're all
I'm
trying to get to the bottom of things, Mr. Whiffle.
Right, so and how is that going? I have to say, you look great, by the way. That's good.
Yeah, true. Are you trying to butter him up though, and like charm him, or are you just commenting on that? Okay. I'll take a presence roll from you, and I'll roll this brilliance. Oof.
Oh dear, I didn't look. I said an oof. I rolled. That's gonna be 18. It's just under.
So 18 total. No,
yeah, 18 total.
Okay. Yeah. Of course, everyone, takes compliments well, but Bisk is in the business of talking to people and making deals. So he just says, "Thank you, excellent." And now then, what sort of business concerning the sphere? Do you have any information to provide or anything?
Well, would that be of interest? Do we need to be investigating that? How can our house serve in this case?
I guess I'll take a brilliance roll from everyone here. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, he's gonna try and mask it too.
16.
That's a 2 with modifiers.
Oh, geez. Okay. 3?
Yep.
Okay. Bubbles, you trying to perceive anything about Bisk?
I rolled a 19, so that would be
dang.
21.
Okay, with your
Smart pants.
with Bubbles's genetically engineered drug enhanced vision, and also with Gerald's investigative nature, you both watch him look over to the king, and like a very dark sort of concerned sort of worry maybe crosses his face. His face pinches all down, but it's really fast, and he sort of tries to hide it, maybe by pretending the sun is beaming down on him or something, and he just says, "Well, of course we need to resolve the situation. We need to escape. However, are we really captives is yet to be determined. I have sent several investigative houses to the sphere, but have not yet compiled any data that would be all in the House of Note collected there for my perusal later. So if you're asking if we need information, I would say yes, but it's also being investigated at the same time."
Right, okay.
Right.
So you could have just said yes.
He's gonna look over at Bubbles with your giant pupils and just like take you up and down, but he talks to all sorts of people all day, so he doesn't say anything back. He just looks at Bubbles and turns back to the discussion. Right.
Well, obviously I can be at the disposal. To be frank about things, the prince is offering deals and favors and such for helping uncovering the underlying mystery
No,
I'm
of
just
course.
wondering, is that something that that is going to be offered more widely, or is there a reward?
As you know, the Sigil is the place for deal making. Of course, you can make a deal at any time. However, yes, I would say this is the place to do it, and the prince is a representative, currently the second highest representative of the Hearthen House Empire. So I would say that it is his prerogative to do so.
Right, so you wouldn't be giving out similar deals at all, because I've got some research proposals that I need to fund, and I've got all these things going on.
As I cannot speak for the king, however, knowing his nature and the words that he said, I do believe that in fulfilling his request, you would be completing a deal with the actual empire, the king himself, the ruler of these lands. So if there's any greater value than serving one's empire, I can't think of it, and rewards would be justly rewarded, as it were.
Do you ever get tied into knots the way you talk?
I'm gonna roll. Oh shoot! Well, it bounced,
It's
but
gone.
6. He seems a little irritated by that one, but and that goes across his face. But he says, unfortunately, I deal with these sort of what to other people would be life and death situations daily. The Sigil is a place to create one's future, so everyone here is very invested in what will occur. I'm doing my best to continue on, as it were, and do what I can to ensure that the Sigil continues to be a profitable place of value for everyone, such as yourself,
yes is the answer.
Mr. And he waves his hand towards you.
Yeah. Mister's fine. So the answer is yes. I have some herbs here that you might like. You chew on a couple leaves. You seem a little uptight.
Thank you. I don't take gifts while I attend the Sigil.
This charity, actually, because you really need it.
A gift, of course. Thank you for your consideration. Yes, this...
So, Bubbles hands it over to the pirate parrot.
Hey, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Herb and just hands it over to the parrot. The parrot starts nibbling on it.
So the parrot eats it. Okay. I guess I'll take a grit roll from you for
can I
your
actually
experience.
choose the effect?
Sure, I guess. What are you looking for?
No, the parrot is barely affected by it because its metabolism doesn't process it the same way.
Oh, you think it wouldn't even work?
Yeah, wouldn't even work. It's a different system.
Sure, that's fine, but I will still take a grit roll just because you're ingesting something, right?
Okay, yeah, fair enough.
That you don't know what it is.
That is a 12.
12? Okay, yeah. It doesn't taste good, but like you said, it's not gonna make you really want to run through the arena or punch a wagon or any of that stuff. You just sort of, it's not agreeable. It doesn't taste good.
Okay.
Yeah.
The parrot eats the herb, and then the pirate answers.
Well, yeah, I've had better.
Now, if you,
Thus.
you know, want something different, I have a variety of plants in that place.
All right, fair enough. We can
Right.
discuss that later.
Well, if that concludes our business, and Bisk starts to walk away again.
Well,
Sir.
I was just wondering if we could get some sort of agreement in place, at least. That, an increase in research funding could be negotiated at a later date with a guaranteed minimum should we solve any issues.
You're looking for funding for your research.
I'm pulling out like sheets of paper with like really like over the top sort of research proposals and things, sort of just sorting through them and just sort of pushing them out towards him.
When you say over the top, are you saying like outlandish ideas that no one would really think would work, or is it more like really expensive or something?
Yeah, it's more of expensive things.
Okay.
If we are trying to be professional or not.
He'll look over your paper. Oh, whoops! There it goes.
Yeah, it's like this proposal for an extra new building in there and things like that.
Well, these are very well written out. Of course, my prevalence towards illumination in documentation. It's wonderful to see such fine craftsmanship on documents such as these. He flips through them. What sort of increase in funding are you looking for? Shall we say 10% increased funding over the course of the next year?
Well, as you know, we're just getting our feet now. We are starting to, turn a profit and things. So we're looking to just quickly expand and capture the market and all this, and it's going to go carry on like a spiel, like a practiced sort of sales pitch, basically.
Oh, of course. And you're all representatives.
I'm looking for about 20%. Probably.
Of house music here. Not you, of course, sir. And he points at the pirate because he already knows you're not in the house.
Yep. I don't even know what he does.
Right. So this would be funding for all of you, your house, in order to pursue these investigations.
But I will take funding if you want.
No, I'm here alone. I'm not here alone, but my house, I'm the sole representative here.
And the other individuals are agreeing for free, I take it?
I wouldn't say for free. I would really love if we could get a space where we could put a park for a memorial for poor dear Lance.
A memorial space. That can...
I don't...
This is what you'd like the deal for? Your work for memorial space? I agree.
Could put a plaque on the new building
immediately.
I don't know if you're aware, but I was actually going to be working with Lance at the Sigil in discussion of opening a nice park place.
And you're...
And from House Sparks.
Sparks flips through all the paperwork and stuff that he has. He's got basically a novel of everyone who's here and sort of notes about them, but very sparse because you can't carry that much information. But he does have all of your houses noted, and so he flips through and he says, Sparks, looks like you're involved in green spaces and different communities, working with former future King Lance. Let me get my paperwork here. And you, sir, is this what you'd like for your assistance? And he points at Bubbles.
No, I think I ate something that I probably shouldn't have, or maybe a bit too much. I'm not really too steady on my feet.
Yeah.
So, and I have to walk quite a ways to get back to my wagon. So could I just maybe borrow the stick out of your ass to get there?
Right. Okay.
I think that's a fair trade.
I recognize your hostility. Would you like
This is
to
not
be
hostility.
escorted?
This is just me trying to make you relax a bit.
Right.
You're gonna
Fabulous.
give yourself a heart attack.
Excellent. So, give me a moment, both of you. I will have the notes or have the records brought from the House of Note, and I will peruse them in order to create this deal. And he waves over to some people and, has a discussion. And also, I'll be right back if you want to discuss amongst yourselves. I apologize. I'll be right.
What about my 5 tons of hardtack?
I just want a stick. And apparently I'm hostile.
Well, I can borrow you the stick I got.
He gets his cutlass.
Well, it's a metal stick, sure, but it can get you places. Just don't stick it up someone's ass. I don't think I... Well, it's probably not very comfortable, huh? Not very comfortable.
Yeah, but see, with the stick, if it breaks and I fall, I just no big deal. But with that, if it breaks and I fall, I'm gonna stab myself.
Yeah, fair point. Fair point.
No, very pointy.
Yeah, it's a fairly pointy point.
Yeah. Thank you, though.
Yeah, no
Do you want-
problem.
I have this different stuff if you want to try that.
Well, is it as bitter as the one you just gave me? It's just,
No, I don't even know what this stuff is. Okay, I was just helping myself. It was free samples. He said I could take it, so I took it. So it's kind of like luck of the
where'd you
draw?
get that?
I don't know, some turkey place up in the sky.
Turkey? What?
Yeah, I don't know.
And then the pair looks up. The guy keeps staring straight, but the pair looks up. He's gotta
And
look for stuff.
One-legged
Yeah,
turkey.
well, I don't see anything. I don't see
No, you
anything.
can't. They're not. Turkeys can't fly. Their bodies are too
Oh.
fat to lift them off the ground. It was
Yeah,
like this
suckers.
big ship that had plants and poop.
Wait, big ship?
I don't know.
Yeah,
Well, I'm the
it
only one
was.
that brought a ship here.
I don't think
No.
so.
What?
No, this is an airship.
Well, wait, what? Where'd be this ship from the air?
You'd have to ask somebody else who's not as out of it as I am.
Yeah, the highest conversation I've ever heard.
Maybe it did have an effect.
Maybe you should just turn around quickly.
What, Turner? Okay.
All right. The parrot's is gonna turn around. The guy's gonna keep looking forward. Parrot's gonna turn around. He's gonna look up.
Holy Mac! What? When did that get hit? What? Wait, is that a ship? How's that?
See, told you I wasn't high.
Wait, it's on stilts, right? That should be on stilts.
So
No.
from
No,
where you're
I think it
standing,
flies.
it does have a balloon up on top, like a big balloon, sort of just within the sphere. And oh, go ahead.
Yep.
Well, while you have a discussion, Bisk's people start returning. They bring desks and chairs and lots of documents and start laying them out. They're all coming from the building behind Bisk, who keeps trying to go towards it, and you keep stopping him. And so, yeah, all these documents start getting laid out, and it's just you two. So from Gerald and Linny, I guess I'll take brilliance rolls from you to, if you're trying to well, you're going to be able to see the documents no matter what, but if you see anything special on them.
Okay. I'm using one of my abilities here, though.
Oh, okay. What are you using?
Literally, my most powerful ability is do the paperwork. So
That's awesome. Okay.
which is a +4.
Specific.
it came up. It's a 19 with everything added.
Okay.
I got a 15.
Okay. The desks are sort of split with, your paperwork on both of them. These are records of basically the entire existence of your house. The House of Note keeps all of that historical data in the House of Notes archive, and then they make copies and bring it for the sigil, because when you're making deals, as you know, you need to have the history and, be able to plan for the future. So they bring all this information out. Gerald, yours has all the letters and all the discussion you've ever had, sort of documented, and then it also has notes written by multiple people. So it's not. It looks like the person you've been communicating with is a representative of Bisque, not necessarily Bisque. It's just whoever's available to handle the letters. So some of the letters are like, wow, this is a good opportunity, we should invest in this or pursue this research. Some of them are very negative and say things like, I can't believe anyone would ever pursue something like origami lettuce leaves or any just crazy things that you could do with magic, right? So there's a lot of negative stuff on yours.
It's probably few pages just complaining about the music, the actual music that comes out. Yeah.
It also includes students. It's not a comprehensive list because you would have to provide that list, but students who have taken courses and reported it for certification or something. No one really stands out, it's not like a noteworthy list, but there is a list there. And then on the Sparks documents, it's got the amount that it would take to do the projects that you're looking for, the beautification projects. Many have already occurred, and so it includes documents on how much there was, the discrepancy between what was proposed and what it actually cost and all of that stuff. And also communication with Lance specifically, almost entirely to Lance specifically. It doesn't look like she was doing the thing that Bisque does because she had more time and, of course, could, choose to do it or not. So those letters look like they came from her directly. And there are glowing recommendations across the board for more projects. And so Bisque steps up and starts taking in all of this information, and
I would be trying to be helpful and point out the positives. Well, yeah.
You're like leaning around him and pointing at junk while he tries to read.
Yeah. I remember that project. It went really well.
He's like, yeah, And in totality, would you say that these projects brought value to the Empire?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, absolutely. We've got more and more people in the city. I can't remember. I don't think you ever gave me a home city name by heart, but
no. I was supposed to look it up, and I don't think I did. So we'll go with
to be determined.
Well, no, we'll just name it now.
No, that's the name, to be determined.
Oh, okay. TBD.
It never got named, and just getting put off.
It'll be called TBD.
Nice.
TEB. Yeah, BHI, and then DIE. TBD.
Okay.
Fantastic.
Absolutely, the workforce utility is absolutely it's getting more and more in depth. The quality of the output of our industry is going through the roof. You know, our IT department is doing wonderful work with the factories.
These projects are quite expensive, these courses. Does your course load that you offer recoup the amount spent by the Empire to fund the investigative side of this magic environment that you've created?
Well, absolutely, because not just on top of getting the money from, you know, other sources as well. Yeah, I mean, we're attributing to economy. You know, we're basically making you a product, the Empire, a product of a trained workforce.
Right. So you do think that the income matches the expense, so you would be able to, in the future, take up our portion of investment on your end outside of the Empire's influence.
Well, we could, but then obviously we wouldn't be able to influence the workforce as much, because that doesn't give us a direct benefit. It gives the Empire a benefit.
Right. Are there any projects on the horizon that may lead to vastly improving our magical stature, specifically in the form of military might, arms, protections, armor, things of that nature?
War or something?
Well, I don't want to obviously give away too many military secrets here.
Right.
But yes, you know, our IT, our intermittent technology department has been working. Magic only lasts 3 seconds. I've been working on, you know, propelling things from long distances and artillery.
Right.
Without having to use complicated wood structures. Mechanical enhancements so that, you know, our weapons are more, you know, better made.
Looks like and Lenny, would you say this investment into green spaces is of equal value to the pursuant investigation of magical forces and military advancement?
Well, I mean, I think they're even more so important. And I'm not sure that they would actually help those efforts, but they would provide a lot of joy and peace and food and medicine for lots of people.
Right.
Are you only interested in military pursuits?
Of course not. There's value in everyone, as they say, and everyone's pursuits can lead to benefit to society. He looks over at the pirate.
He is looking very hopeful.
Right. I do think you probably have some value to society.
Hey.
Right.
While all this back and forth is going on with the paperwork and that, Bubbles is swaying side to side and looking quite glassy-eyed.
Cool. I do think it would be interesting to Bubbles that there is a door standing in the middle of the arena. If that, of everyone standing here who can see it, I think that would be most interesting to Bubbles, but we can work on that in the future if you want.
Yeah,
Disc says
he's really in no condition to go or look at anything right
right. This says right. Based on these figures, I can probably promise a value of maybe a 17.5% increase towards music's investigative advancements. These projects that may lead to additional value. On the side of Spark's request for a memorial space, if you're willing to do work on behalf of the Empire here within the sigil, I will agree to that. I'll have you roll, I guess, brilliance here too.
That one off the
Critical
table.
roll.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
3.
3, perfect.
Guys all hate me.
The numbers he seems to be indicating for like building the memorial and stuff are like far beyond what you would expect for the other green projects that you've been involved in, because previously, you were handling it with a specific person who was doing all of the back and forth and all of the politics, even though she had a ton of power. She was working it all out, with her people. So they were pretty like modest, even though they're large. And then you would come in and do work to beautify them, right? But when he says, oh, there's a memorial, and he's sort of writing down figures and trying to make up a deal, we're talking like some big space with possibly, he says, do you think a statue is in order, or would you prefer to have a sort of a green space that maybe is more naturally formed?
I think we could find a place for maybe not just a statue, but a statue that's a beautiful fountain that can be a centerpiece of the garden.
Perfect. The number he writes down is huge for this sucker. Like, if you convert or whatever from your previous projects, he's talking about like a I don't know, 2-story tall fountain based on the price, like a huge fountain, right?
Okay.
And tons of value pumped into this project. And so he like makes this document, and then he writes out the possible 17% increase for music funding. And he says, so on this paperwork we have here, and he, just to not bore Bubbles, he drones on for a while talking about like clauses and stuff like that, but the gist of it is, if you're able to provide the king with a person who, and evidence that they were involved in the death of his daughter, then you will get this funding from this document. Does this seem agreeable to the both of your houses?
Yeah, I think that's a fair offer. Well, obviously we'll have to trim a few projects, but I've already got a few in mind that could be redirected.
Perfect. Bisk signs them himself. One of the people signs as witness. These are just members of the House of Note. They're the only house that has more people than just the two, except for the Empire themselves. The Hearthen House has porters and all of that stuff, but House of Note is the only one who brought more than 2 people. So these people are all furiously making notes and copying the documents and stuff in front of you. One of them signs it, and then he steps out of the way and motions towards the documents for you.
Yeah, I would sign it.
Perfect.
As well.
Perfect.
The pirate's gonna move forward, thinking he has to sign as well.
Right, well, where do we sign?
And what services are you providing? And again, really questionably, he says, "Sir."
Right, well, me and me crew, we can go plunder and kill and create havoc on anything you want.
Right. In this sigil, where we are trapped within a sphere, you're offering to create mayhem on behalf of the Empire.
You never realize the importance of a good mayhem until you have it, right?
Right.
It's very important to keep order. Surprisingly enough, order.
With the most humblest respect, we, as an empire, decline your most gracious services.
No, wait. We got more. I got a good nose for treasure.
And then he pats the parrot's beak with the tip of his finger.
Yep, I got a good nose for treasure. I can find anything of value in at least 24 hours, or your money back.
24 hours to find anything I name.
Nope, just it has to be treasure, and it has to be valuable to me.
He goes over to the documents and stuff, pulls a fresh one, hand writes this sucker himself, right? It's very short, and he says, I'm keeping it modest on your behalf. And he writes out this document that says, on behalf of the Empire, I don't have your page open. What's your house's name?
It's the mind-controlling parrots of the 1C.
Well, what would other people know it as? Is that what... we'll just call it Pirates of...
Just mind parrots, or Pirates of the 1C. That
Pirates of the 1C, right. Okay. So he writes out, we, the Pirates of the 1C, pledge to locate the murder weapon of Lance, future king of the Empire, member of Hearth and House, within 24 hours, or face criminal investigation and action under the laws within the Empire. And then he throws down a line, signs it, throws down another line, and holds the pen over.
Okay. Can I roll for brilliance?
Yeah, sure.
Come on, Snake Eyes. Okay, I rolled the 4 with modifiers.
Yep, that sounds good. That's definitely advantageous.
Right. So he just
you should have the steward here for this, huh? Well, it's all right. It's a good deal.
He hands that over to the people.
Okay. Well, as he's signing it, Bubbles' eyes roll back into his head, and he sort of starts to buckle at the knees.
Oh.
And just kind of collapses slowly onto what I'm guessing is sand.
Yeah. Bisque, as you fall, Bisque immediately is like snapping at people sort of outside the arena. Come and aid this gentleman, and brings in a bunch of people. They all pick up Bubbles, pull you over out of the sun into the shade, and there's a medical team here ready to help, and could provide you a medical potion and stuff like that in order to aid Bubbles' constitution. So that they'll feed you sort of a restorative potion. It should remove any negative effects from standing in the sun or whatever you ate.
He's greened out.
Yeah, it's probably not going to remove. Yeah, it's not going to remove any enjoyment, I guess, effects. It's just going to sort of, because they think you're having some sort of episode, right? So
He's having an episode. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you can
A
call it
little bit
that.
too much.
So
He just needs to puke.
yeah.
Should be good.
Well, yeah, after they do sort of a quick triage, unless Bubbles fights it, I guess, they're going to take him to a recovery room and make sure that he has everything he needs. It comes with food and water and like a place to puke and sheets and a bed and stuff. Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be any point rolling. He's out of it.
Yeah, if it makes sense that he's gone, he's just continued to eat random things. That's fine. Yeah.
He's just been snacking the whole time.
If your parrot happens to die there, I would be interested in buying its body for research.
Wow.
Well, you've been eating this. His parrot's been eating the same stuff, hasn't it?
Well, yeah.
Bubbles is not even around, so I don't know who you're talking to. He's been
No, he's
I'm
talking to the pirate.
pirate.
Yeah.
As you've clapped, sorry.
Yep, I've eaten that. Mm-hmm.
Wait. Your parrot's been eating that.
Oh, yeah. Me parents been eating it. Oh, yep.
Well, yeah. If it does pass away, I'll be very interested in dissecting it.
Oh, you want to dissect the parrot?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's there's a lot of stories about parrots. But we'll keep an eye on them. You really shouldn't wear one on your shoulder like that.
On hold. I'll think about it. Yep. I'll think about it.
You can see the parrot is kind of like scooching away from you, closer to the pirate's neck.
The people who have been working on the documents are also keeping an eye on the pirate, standing sort of near them in their area, giving like dark looks every once in a while and stuff. Perfect. With this conclusion of business and your associates' collapse, I believe we're finally done here. And Bisk just starts to try and walk away again.
Damn, Bubbles never got a stick. Wait.
Yes. And turns around.
Would it be possible to go and pay my respects to Lance?
So yeah, I mean, there are no like restrictions or anything on any space. So if you'd like, while you're out in the arena, if you want to go over there, Bisk just says, "Of course, do as you wish," and we'll turn and try and walk away. But it wouldn't even occur to anybody that like you shouldn't or whatever.
Okay.
Oh, of course. Give my houses, respect to the king, and we mourn with him, of course.
Of course,
Lance was loved by all.
The Empire mourns her loss, and he, looks down and does the typical sad motions with his hands and stuff, and turns to walk away.
Oh, just one moment, sir.
Yes.
You wouldn't happen to have some sunflower seeds? I'm getting a bit snack.
Sunflower seeds. You'd need to check with the food. I guess the food area, whoever's providing services at the time. Perhaps one of the houses may have sunflower seeds with them as well.
No problem. I just figured you would have some handy.
On my person, no.
Well, of course.
No.
Who doesn't walk with some seeds in their pocket? Seeds in their pocket.
Bisk looks at all the people standing around, and they're all, well, I'll roll to see if anybody's got sunflower seeds.
Please.
We'll go for like 15 or higher, and someone's got some seeds, right? 18. All right, cool. So one of the workers is like, excuse me, sir, and she like comes forward and she's got like a big like bag next to her, and she's like, I do actually have some seeds for your, and then she looks up at the parrot and she's like, bird, I guess. But really what she's doing is like looking at Bisque over and over and saying like, oh, I'm here and stuff. So she's like rummaging through this bag full of like ink quills and paperwork and like all of this stuff, and she gets down to a little pouch at the bottom and she pulls out like some seeds, hands them over to the pirate, and as she's handing them over, looks at Bisque and says, I just try and be prepared, for anything that may come up, sir, as you're, so that you don't have to. And Bisque,
there you go. Some common decency at least.
And he takes the seed.
Bisque is not impressed, just says right, and turns to walk away again.
Come on, someone stop him. Let's keep it rolling.
Bubbles is passed out in a medical tent. He can't do anything. He does have seeds, but not sunflower ones.
Right. Bisque finally exits into the building, which isn't exactly at the House of Note. He would have to walk down the hall, and even from here you hear several people from out here say, oh, excuse me, sir, in the distance, as they try and get his attention in order to do something that they need from him, right? Yeah. And then you wanted to pay respects to Lance.
Mm-hmm. And I really want to be kind of like checking out stuff.
Yeah, of course. So as you move across the sand, there aren't any fights occurring at the time. Everybody sort of files away with the paperwork and stuff. But you journey over to, unfortunately, Lance's body.
I'd probably have a few steps back, give her a bit of room to...
Yeah. Pirate, are you going to?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, you're
on a clock right now.
And Bubbles, if you want to recover sort of your faculties enough to stumble back out into the arena, you're welcome to, or you could just have a time.
Oh, he's gonna have a time.
All right, cool.
He's gonna have. Good. I actually have to go. Am I done?
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
Was there anything else? Okay.
No, if you're done, we're just gonna wrap up this sort of investigation, and then we're done for the episode. So that's perfect.
Sorry, I have to go. Sorry.
Yeah, no problem. Bubbles retires.
Bye.
Bye, Shrimps. Thanks. And also Itro, who left on his own because that's what we agreed on previously. Perfect. So, in witnessing this space, I'll just tell you what you see. Nothing that you haven't seen already. There's a giant monolith that was rising out of the ground between two planks that were sort of buried underneath the sand, handled by those winches behind you from here. The king continues to sit in the chair and stare directly at Lance through this entire thing. And her body is on sort of like the slope, I guess. Unfortunately, I couldn't represent it, but it does have like catches, places where things, like if you set something at the top, it wouldn't just roll off. It would like, stay. And that's why her body's there with a sword driven through it. And yeah.
All right. So when I first get there, I will pay a moment of respect and just kind of bow my head.
Yeah, of course.
To her. And then I'm going to just kind of try to see if I can tell if the sword pierced a like recently deceased body or Had it been
Okay.
deceased for a while
let's-
before it was pierced?
Let's investigate.
Not. Oh, great.
Yeah, brilliance is the way to investigate. But if you got any abilities you want to use, that you're welcome to, in order to try and gain more info or anything, as long as it makes sense, that's what we're here for.
Yeah, I'm not sure how to make it.
All right, I'll just have you roll brilliance for your investigation, and anyone else, if you'd like to, you can.
11.
Okay, fine. I'll roll brilliance.
All right, cool.
Oh, okay, decent. That was 16.
16. Perfect. And Gerald, you doing any investigating or looking for anything? Actually, you should roll it no matter what, now that we're standing there. Might be AFK though. But
Who
I'll
was
tell
that
you. Yeah, you. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Just sort of a perception while you're standing next to this thing.
This thing.
It's
She has
corpse.
a name.
What was the? Is it brilliance? Sorry,
Yeah.
presence. Brilliance. Yeah. 12.
12. Perfect. So, the two magic user type well, not necessarily magic users, but Linny and Gerald, as you stand here, what you're looking at is a monolith. It extends down into the ground into a hole, so it's much bigger than the thing that's just sort of at surface level, because they stopped bringing it up, right? Once the king rushed forward, they stopped cranking, so most of it is actually under the ground, and it is a very dark stone bound with bands of very thick metal. The metal has symbols on it, and there are also symbols carved into the rock sort of itself. You don't have the ability to say like, oh, this body was dead for 24 hours or dead for 4 hours or anything like that, but you can definitely confirm that the sword that went through her didn't like splash her blood out or anything like that. It's not like it killed her for sure. She was definitely already dead.
Okay, that's mostly what I wanted to know.
Yeah.
I was mentioning that as well.
Yeah, that's what Shrimps brought up. She was definitely dead at the time the sword pierced her. Everybody in this place witnessed the king run up to a not moving body, right? So he sort of took her, like perceived the situation and then acted immediately, but he did, fully take in the scene, like stopped for a moment to take it in, and then stabbed the sword in. Let's see.
Can I ask
go ahead.
if any of the symbols, do they look like they could be druidic in nature at all?
On 11, I would say that you recognize the way that they are crafted. So you know how different languages have different ways of writing. You would say that the language is crafted in the same way that the Druidic language is, but it's not. There are no symbols that match any Druidic language, almost as if the languages sort of were created at the same time, but went two different directions.
Okay.
And then, Gob, your pirate perceives a really big hole and a rock basically covered in gold. The metal is, some of it is gold, some of it is other metals, but it's clearly very well crafted. This entire thing is treasure for sure. And it's treasure that it looks like was made recently. You've seen a lot of old treasure and a lot of new treasure. You would say this is something new. And on 16, it looks like she died from several knife wounds, not a sword, something small like a dagger or a very short sword across her neck and also in her chest adjacent to where the sword is. Since you're looking for a murder weapon.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep, okay, well, that, she didn't go out a pretty way. She didn't go out a pretty way. Nope.
What do you mean?
Well, you see, there's a bunch of cuts there that, definitely was not the big sword, and, we would be looking for a dagger or a short sword, but nothing too big or nothing that would cause a huge amount of damage. Short.
Ooh, interesting.
Also, this whole thing is
The parrot just whistles.
whole thing is just made of gold and other valuable material. If I could take the thing, oof, I'd be set for life.
Well, something tells me the king isn't going to want to leave it anymore, so... And maybe when it's transported elsewhere, that's your sort of thing, isn't it? But can I probably take, like, just some sort of scribbles of the runes and stuff for study later?
Yeah, sure. While you try and you're not trying to do the thing where you like rub a piece of paper on a gravestone to get. You're not trying to do that, are you? You're just trying to write down what the scribbles are.
Yeah, I think it'd be a bit disrespectful to get that close, so I don't.
Okay, I was just making sure.
Yeah,
Get a piece of that person's ear just so I can take it to the lab.
Are you gonna touch her?
no.
I was just joking.
Okay, I mean,
Saying exactly what not to do.
no, I just need to know because this is a crime scene. So whatever you interact with, obviously you're gonna learn more from. So if
Damage it.
and also damage it, true. So you're trying to write down the scribbles. That's definitely easy and doable. Are you just doing the ones sort of at the top, or are you trying to look down for the rest of them?
I probably wouldn't want to get too close and look down at the moment.
Okay.
With a parrot at my back, can't trust them.
Right. Of course.
Bad omen and all that. So yeah, I would just be sort of at a distance, sort of taking samples of the script, just to see if it pops up again or if it matches anything in any books I have.
Okay. Easy enough to do. Anybody
I wouldn't be
else?
taking like a full list because I would be assuming I could come back and get the rest if I needed it.
Yeah, it just standing in front of it, it's incredibly heavy. The pulley systems to move it must have been very intricate, and it still took 4 winches with multiple people on them to crank it up. So this thing is very heavy, and nothing you're aware of currently would be able to just whisk it away, so you couldn't look at it later.
Yeah.
Do you think we can go down there? Do you think that's where it happened?
Well, they had to get her on top of it somehow, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Should have asked that guy.
Bisk sneezes. Off screen somewhere.
Well, I'm not the brightest person, but I believe that she could have also been killed and then thrown into the hole before the thing came up.
That's true. How would you
I
have
think-
done it?
Well, you see, I wouldn't have done it in such a flamboyant way. Well, at least not in such a populated area. He would probably do it at sea, and just throw the body at sea. So this isn't really my handiwork, you see.
Not my way.
Well, that's not going to help you find that weapon.
Oh, you're right. I have to find a weapon. Probably a dagger.
Was it you got 23 hours now about?
What?
I think it's almost 22 by now.
Well, that's a long time.
Well, yeah, I think there must have been some sort of way to get to the top of it. Some sort of scaffolding. Because
Well,
all
thing
this
is
fancy
made of gold,
stuff on
pretty
it.
much. Rocks and gold. I don't know if you need a scaffolding for that. You probably just melt the gold and put it in a giant cask or something.
Oh, you know what? Linny, were you here before the sigil started in the space, or were you like handling business in other cities and stuff?
We probably would have arrived a little bit before it started.
Yeah.
Just because we would have brought some of our potted plants with us and want to set those up.
Okay.
Yeah, well,
So-
the pirates were definitely here for a long time before because they had to assemble their ship.
Yeah, but not more than maybe a week or two, right?
Well, it's an entire ship. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, you would have had crews, just because there's only 2 people here. Well, yeah, like you would have had help previous to the beginning of the sigil. Yeah, so okay, just checking to see timeline there.
Is it possible to switch characters in the middle of a scene?
So the
Go
concept
fetch my steward.
the concept I had for it was that it would just take, if you chose to do that, it would take the amount of time to go get them and come back as the other person. You know what I mean? So like you couldn't do it in a fight for sure, but at this point, I would say, we're winding down sort of this session and episode. But if you would like to choose what to do for the rest of the evening and then the night, then it does make sense to go grab your steward and come back if you want. And also, if you want to tell these people, wait here, I'll be right back, or I'll go get the guy, or whatever. I think that makes sense too.
Okay. I just wanted to know if there's like any actual rule behind it.
The concept was at midday or for nighttime, you would be able to swap, because you definitely go back to your house's area, discuss with them, and then choose what to do from there. So if that's where we want to move, if you're done with this area as these people, for example, we can move into swapping or choosing what to do for the rest of the night.
Just me. So
Yeah.
I would only choose
Okay.
if I were already like leaving, and so there's gonna be a downtime between this session and the next session. That downtime
Yeah.
would be like the nighttime or something.
Well, my goal is to encompass the nights as well, because time is like, stuff is happening all the time everywhere, right? So
And I
it's
got limited
difficult. Yeah, it's difficult to encompass all of that in one sort of session. So I guess we'll just say right now, if you want to go grab them and come back to this scene, we'll do that, and then we'll decide what happens over the nighttime, and we'll end the session. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well,
And if any,
I'll just wait then. It's no problem. They probably still want to investigate, and I don't
Okay.
want to like be away for that. So.
okay, I got you. How's everyone else feeling? Any other thoughts on this area?
I'm completely ignoring the door, I'm afraid.
I know.
Yeah.
It's disappointing me, but also There are. I have events, but also in the sigil there would be dozens of events that are occurring nonstop that aren't related to anything other than the people who are attending, because they all have their own goals, right? So not everything leads to a clue. Not everything leads to a discovery. Some of it's just these things are occurring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What door?
There is a door on the other side of the arena. It is a door standing on the sand by itself on the other side of the king.
Oh.
It was not.
I see it.
It was not there yesterday.
Okay. Yeah,
You would know.
I don't know if I noticed. Oh, okay.
Yeah, you everyone would know because the whole place was filled up with people, and then they all vanished, right? So everyone was sort of watching this space yesterday, and there was definitely not a door amongst the drummers.
Okay. All right.
I would just assume it's just some pranksters put up a door and laugh at anyone who goes to explore it, to be honest.
Guild of pranksters.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'd probably have to get back to house business, to be honest.
Okay.
To catch up on house business back at my area.
Yeah. So you're all welcome to disperse and decide what you want to do at night, and then also Gob, if you want to go grab a steward and come back, you're welcome to do
fine.
that as well.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Right.
are Linny and Gerald going to leave, or are you going to wait for the steward?
I think Linny would wait.
Okay.
I think Joe will just be sort of just like, well, I need to get back to work. I'll look into this more. If you need me, I'll just be over there. But I've left the professor there handling the stall all day, so I won't hear the end of it.
Are you going to tell them where your space is?
Yeah, I'd probably sort of point, gesture sort of the section.
Yeah, it's actually easy to get to from here, just for actual space for y'all. You go out through this exit right here and into the door adjacent to the sort of eating hall area, and it's actually to the left. I can see it through the window right here, but you don't know what you're looking for, so
yeah.
Right, well, hold up. I'm gonna get the smarty pants, Stuart. I'll be right back.
cool.
Yeah. Leaves. Sometime later, more than you would think. Going from here to there.
We can literally see the ship from here, on the other side of the building.
It would be really fast, but for some reason, and the reason is the steward was scolding the guy for signing the contract.
Oh,
so it took
yeah.
some time.
You would have a copy too, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, yeah, a few moments later, the steward comes, and he is a very different guy from the pirate that you were just talking to. He was very well dressed, very posh. He had this very noble-esque stance, right? He was oozing. He's oozing nobility, basically. And the parrot. He also had a parrot on his shoulder, and this parrot has the most beautiful plumage I've ever seen on any parrot. It's so colorful, bright. It's quite the sight. It's super pretty. And this guy approaches. He looks very, concerned, a little bit down.
Are you putting on an act, or is that real?
No, that is real.
Okay.
He was very concerned with the whole situation the other guy put him, or put the whole.
Okay. I was just checking because everything that happens here happens in front of the king. So I'm trying to see, what you're performing as well, if you're performing something.
He's very
but if it's real,
but he's not distraught by the sight of the dead person. No, he's distraught by the situation the pirate, the champion, put the house in. So he approaches. What's her name again?
Lenny.
That's Lenny. Yeah.
Okay. So he approaches Lenny, and he says, "Oh, I beg your pardon. Would you be the person that talked to Loro just now?"
Oh, parrot. Yes. Yep.
Ah, wonderful. Well, allow me to introduce myself. I am Sir Pease. A pleasure to make your acquaintance, and you would be?
I am Lenny of House Sparks.
Lenny of House Sparks. Would you mind telling me what is it you do?
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, we're a society who likes to maintain our green spaces, including forests or parks or courtyards or retreats. Really, anywhere we can populate the beauty of nature through plants and trees.
Ah, what a noble pursuit. I love that. I love that. I hope you've been planting lots of fruit trees around.
We have just done some work with an orchard.
Oh,
Peaches.
You are doing the Lord's work.
Doing the Lord's work.
The parrot is very happy. It's bouncing up and down. It's almost dancing.
I think we may have brought a few saplings with us if you want to stop by our stall sometime.
Oh, that would be wonderful. However, other business bring me here, and I'm afraid that we are in a bit of a pickle, you see. It seems to me that we as a house, have to find some sort of murder weapon in and then he looks up at the, I imagine, setting sun?
Yep.
Yep, he looks up at the setting sun, and some 21 hours, perhaps?
Oh, yeah, I did hear that.
The 2 moons are also coming up as well.
Do they come up at the same time, or one and then the other?
So the moons are one on top of each other, and it rotates around. Yeah. So like there's a very large looking moon and then a smaller moon that appears to rotate as the seasons go on inside. So you're able to see what the season is based on where the moon is within the other moon.
Okay. So the rotation is wildly different. I couldn't tell the hour of the day by the rotation of one moon.
No, you would need. You would compare its travel across the sky in order to tell the time. Okay. So, yeah.
So, did you hear anything about this whole conundrum we're facing?
I mean, we don't really know too much. Yeah, to be honest, I don't think we really know much of anything. But I'm sure that we can find the answers.
Oh, Gob, can you roll brilliance for this steward?
Okay. I forgot to mention. It's very important. The parrot with the very bright plumage is also wearing a very tiny top hat. Very important.
Stately.
Very important information. Yeah, yes, of course.
All right.
So, brilliance, that's gonna be a whopping 13. I could, you know what? 14, because I'm gonna throw in a treasure sense here.
Okay, well, this would have been for yesterday. They all rolled, but since you weren't here, or for the last session, which was yesterday in game, during the sigil ceremony, I don't think that met it though. unfortunately, I can't remember if I said it where I said it, but I don't think 14 meets the requirements to have perceived what some of them did. So you saw the performance. You saw the king begin to speak. He raised. Yeah, you saw the performance, you saw them disappear, you saw him start speaking, and then you saw the body come up on the monolith, and then he stabbed it. And you were not affected by the sphere as it exploded out, but of course your ship was.
Yep.
Okay, I was just checking. Thanks.
All right, cool. No problem. So I see Loro has he has told me that this person, well, the I forgot her name. What is that?
Lance.
That person. Lance.
Yeah.
Lance, past, future, not anymore king of the empire, died by several cuts to cuts, stabs, tiny weapons. You see, daggers, I believe, short swords, and the like. Did you all discover anything more regarding to how the person met her inevitable demise?
Not really. There are some weird runes, and I'll kind of point to the monolith, but I don't really know what they mean.
Runes. I do not believe I have studied much of those, but I could give it a try. Right?
Sure.
That's gonna be another brilliance, I imagine, with the treasure
Yeah.
sense.
With treasure sense, okay.
Okay. All right. Rolling. That's gonna be a 11.
Yeah, you don't know this language. At least on any of the symbols up at the top. And in investigating the body, because you're standing there looking at, sort of all of it. Again, same thing Loro reported to you, the slice and then stab wound next to the sword that is still currently in it. You do perceive that the sword is very valuable also, and probably magical.
Okay. Well,
I should.
it is a
Fair, you would have
it is
also
very
known.
concerning.
Mm-hmm.
The sword belonged to the king. Right?
It's the king's sword. It's got a bunch of stories about it, being famous or whatever, but it's definitely magical too. Yeah.
He just left Excalibur there. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
What about this door? It's well, seeing that this is an obelisk and it's all very magical and all, but I do not recall seeing that thing over there. And I cannot help but wonder if it's all, related in some sort. Maybe it's an escape route for whoever killed. It would be odd to see it, surfaced and hiding in plain sight. It seems very odd. What do you make of it?
What do you make of it?
I mean, it is a bit odd, but you tend to see some odd stuff here sometimes. But
Definitely.
it probably wouldn't hurt to check it out just to make sure. Kind of connect somehow.
Yep.
That was you, not someone, right?
Yeah. You definitely can if you want to. Just the two of you. I mean,
It is a little bit late. Like,
Yeah.
On
maybe
the other hand, there's this huge gate that is supposed to reveal the obelisk, and I do wonder if there's some more happening down there, or is it something that, is... Does it open to a cave or something down below? Do you have any means to find out?
I mean, we can ask someone. I was definitely curious too, but
Lenny, you would know what was here before, in your knowledge of the area.
Oh,
So
okay.
you already sort of know.
Wait, should I know as well?
What do I
No,
know?
you do not know.
Okay.
Lenny knows that there was something built here long ago before the flat space of the sigil. There's either a very large town or a castle or some sort of structure was built here before, based on what you've seen, sort of while planting and while finding, rocks that were carved and things like that, bricks, basically, stones. So Lenny definitely knows that there's previously been an actual structure here instead of the meeting space that it is currently.
Okay, I will explain that then.
Okay, cool. And if you'd like, you can, make agreements and send letters to people like, hey, we know who you are and what your house is. We'd like to meet here on the morrow. Or you can try and figure it out yourself, but you're welcome to try, I guess.
Do we know which houses attended? Like, do we have a list of houses that attended the sigil?
All records are kept in the House of Note. So you could get that information.
Okay.
But it would require... Yeah, it would require a lot of notative work, like going and applying for it and requesting the records and stuff.
Or
we
could steal it, perhaps.
Correct, you could.
Okay. All right.
Would you like to send letters to the people who are clearly willing to work on this investigation with you, and request that they meet with you at night?
Yeah.
That seems like a good plan, yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. So then, instead of going to the door, our current party members will head back to their spaces and prepare for a heist, I guess is the way to say it, and send messages. I assume just to the party, or are you going to send them to other people as well?
The thing is, I wanted to. I mean, it's kind of obvious, right? You just said it, but I wanted to know if there was like a house of investigative affairs that was by sheer luck that I could employ them. That's the whole reason I wanted to.
Yeah, sure. Let's
FBI is here. Yep.
Let's roll presence and see if you ran into anyone who said that was their job or whatever.
Okay.
We'll shoot for 15 or higher.
Okay, I gotta get it. I got a lot of presence here. Oh, come on. I rolled a 5.
Okay. I don't remember his name. What's your pirate's name?
Oh, this is Sir Pease.
Oh, Sir Pease, right. Sir Pease is sort of always looking out for, people trying to stop them or like the law, So he's definitely clocked several individuals that he thinks are of that sort. There are also soldiers in the area, and you would know that the law is nearby, but not inside the sigil most of the time. So there's only normally, the house members and maybe a couple guards just willing to keep the peace. But outside, there are normally forces willing to aid the king or any of the houses that require law enforcement, if you will.
So basically, we are in a semi-lawless zone inside the sphere.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes, but every house has their own motivations. So keeping up appearances with the king definitely makes sense for them to be, motivated by. So you would assume that the people that you think may be detectives or law enforcement or something, or at least appear to be, that sort of house, they would still be continuing to do their jobs so that they could say, hey, we aided the kingdom, we aided the empire in this specific stuff, so maybe increase our funding or give us better materials or magic or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Huh.
Anything else you want to do in order to set up a heist?
Well, so if we're just setting up what we're gonna do in this downtime or in the next encounter, right? Downtime and next encounter.
Right.
So basically, the regular things you do when you set up a heist, you scope out the area, you check their itinerary, see how their guards or the people, their time zone, not the time zones for their how do you call it? The times in which they work, when they go take a break, and the whole thing.
Perfect.
That being said, I don't know if Icar's character agreed with this whole thing.
Yeah.
So far,
No.
it's just my idea, right?
Yeah, she totally doesn't know you're thinking of a heist.
Yeah.
She's just
Okay.
thinking of speaking with people at the House of No.
At a certain time at night. Yeah. Do you want to explain that, or do you want to leave that sort of as a mystery to her?
It's a mystery within a mystery.
Right.
Mysteryception.
And if you do send these messages, are you going to say, hey, we need to get records, or are you going to say, hey, we need to steal these records?
I would say, hey, I think we need to see if we can locate any houses that maybe deal with tiny daggers and
Okay, cool. Yeah, so we'll say that you send out these messages overnight, and you can write them up if you want, or I can do it. But we'll say that occurs not overnight. Sorry, in the downtime between sessions, right? And then you'll send them to the party, and if they want to attend to get the records, then they can. But are you sending them to anyone who isn't the cogs, music, or the wagon boy or wagon park boys?
Wagon park.
And if it's sort of like just sort of a concept that you have, I mean, there's probably a house that exists that does whatever it is, but you might not, just as us players, you might not know what that would be.
House of
But we
taking the blame for murder. Is that that would be
yeah.
awfully convenient.
how to get away with murder.
the house everyone blames for stuff. It's just some guys in the corner like, come on. Yeah, they probably exist somewhere around here.
Nice.
I feel
Go ahead.
like after Linny speaks with Rue, maybe she would have jogged his memory about the little old lady that he picked a dagger out for, and think back on that vendor as someone.
Oh,
to maybe
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you can contact that vendor and the house, definitely. What about the little old lady?
Maybe.
Okay, sure. We'll go with a maybe.
I mean, Rue just thought she was just a little old lady. Like,
yeah, of course, but I was just making, like, I'm just trying to sort of make a mental note of who may attend in order to help you, or who is aware of the seeking of records, that sort of thing.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, we'll say the little old lady too.
Okay, awesome. And so fairs. Cool. So Gob, you're looking at Discord?
Oh, hold up.
right.
I'm on the Ashien. Yeah, I'm looking at the stream. Yep.
Just to give you a concept of what's occurring, this is the pirate ship, right?
Yep.
And then right here is the House of Note.
Okay.
Literally,
Okay.
the ship overlooks the House of Note's space. The
That's
records,
beautiful. That's awesome.
everything is all
That helps a
contained
lot.
in this space. Yeah, it's really funny that you were like, let's do this. Let's get more information. So, you'll definitely have, you know, their patterns of movement. Obviously overnight there are less people there, if no one, and you'll know the layout. It's free to sort of visit and request records and stuff, so you would know the layout, and all of the not all the information, but you would know, like, it's all contained here. And then we'll send letters to people and get them involved. And then on our next encounter, we will request records, possibly in a violent manner or a heist manner, depending on what occurs. But just before we end, I would like Gob specifically have one more brilliance roll as the steward.
Okay. Right. Before that, can I just have
Okay, sure.
Can Sir Peace just have a quick word with Lenny?
Yeah, definitely. Do it up.
Well, if it is not too much trouble, I would like to request something of you, and it's a quite sensible matter. So if you could keep it on the down low, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
So you see, as you know, we need to find this murder weapon, and I am growing quite concerned that the eyes of the law will uncover some unsightly stuff from our activities at sea. And that being said, if you do find out what happened with the murder, as I am told you are pursuing those matters, please do give us credit for the weapon. If you do find it, it would help us immensely, and we would repay you in kind. Be sure of that. That is very important for us that you would do that in case it happens.
Pretty please.
But you guys will be also trying to look for things, right?
Well, of course, we wouldn't be slacking. It's just in the eventuality that it is you that finds the murder weapon, the credit would benefit us in a unperceivable way when compared to you, we believe.
I mean, I think that would be agreeable. Unless circumstances present information that should deem it otherwise.
That is all I ask. That is... You put my heart at ease. And then he just puts his fingertips on top of the parrot's heart. Where it would be. Thank you. That is very kind of you.
Very kind.
When you propose this and it's agreed upon, is this a formal sigil deal?
I think it was specific. It was on the down low, right? It was.
Okay, you did say on the down low. Okay, I'm just making sure.
And I guess I was thinking of it more as it's a temporary, like it's not like a really long-term
just keep it
arrangement,
in mind, basically. Yeah.
So,
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay, just making sure.
Request.
Yeah, and he did say, down low.
Okay, good call. So I'll take your perception, your brilliance roll while you're standing there.
Yep. Okay. Come on. Wait, why is it not rolling?
Uh-oh.
There you go. Okay, that was pretty decent. Let me add the modifiers. You said brilliance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so 16.
16, where you're standing, as you look up at the sun, and also as you've witnessed as it sets, and you've witnessed the cog ship as well, and you're thinking about that airship business. In front of it are half bird people clearly living in a nest space up on top of that building over there, and you definitely perceive their area up there.
Can I? Do I know what kind of bird they are?
Oh, you're gonna know these people immediately. Definitely. So those are definitely the people you think they are.
Okay.
Just up there in their own space. They are representing that. In order to be here, they must be representing houses. So they have clearly created whatever they need in order to claim that they are representing houses here. And for the future, they're here as well.
Okay. Hey,
Cool.
Sir Peace is gonna mutter under his breath, "Those rapscallions."
Cool. Awesome. So the sun begins to set. Everyone goes off to make their preparations and to recognize their goals, I guess. What has Gerald been doing when it comes to work inside? Just to wrap up his little space too.
He's probably just like showing off miscellaneous inventions. Like that blue thing is actually probably a bomb, but obviously disarmed. But saying new ways of magically exploding mines and things.
Okay.
Mining tools.
Are you trying to get grant funding or get funding from patrons, or are you trying to sell stuff, or are you just showing off and trying to push the lessons?
I mean, it would probably depend on who comes up and what their interest is.
All right.
If a house that was into industry would come up, I'd talk about like magic machining and things like that. And
Okay.
just sort of pushing the courses.
Fire?
Is that what?
Giant pillow on fire?
Yeah, it's a stack
heated
of
blanket.
It's a stack of rugs, yeah. They don't burn, right? Behold,
The heated blanket.
The blanket of heating.
yeah, and there's all sorts of random stuff like that mixed in here that, I mean, it could have a purpose and value, but it's more like, look at this discovery. Look how amazing it is, that sort of thing. Look at what we can teach you.
So more proofs of concept than actual products.
Yeah, more like results of research and things like that. And it's like
Cool.
they're trying to sell courses as well, like get people signing up.
Gotcha.
Talking like I've got a nature magic course, I've got anti-nature magic courses. So a bit of everything.
Anti-nature.
Yeah.
Most people who swing by are just headed to get food. They've already seen your spot and maybe spoken to you previously, or if not, they're still trying to avoid you and going on the outside and then coming in their room from the far openings. But most of the people who stop by are just like, oh, okay, interesting, you do this. The same way as it is when you're trying to do the same stuff in the cities where you have these establishments. And then a couple of people will definitely sign up. You're continuing to conduct your business, and it's why you're here, and it's what you're good at. So because you're spending this time here, while everyone else is either off investigating or whatever, you're definitely going to get people to sign up. There's actually you probably meet this guy, how do I want to explain that? A fully cloaked individual with face covered would definitely stop by and be interested in these all of your advances and courses and stuff.
Yeah.
And he would stop by and say, what are these accoutrements you have here? And he talks kind of low and
well,
yeah.
I've got lots of things here. What sort of area you're interested in?
Well, these are magical implements, of course. It looks like there are some odd procedures, odd applications of said magic. Is this
not odd? Scientific. You see, we're doing great work. Doing great work to bring magic into the future.
I'll take a brilliance roll from you too.
Yeah.
Against his presence, actually.
Bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, you're good.
Which one am I doing against brilliance? Is it
Brilliance? Yeah.
all right? That is 18.
He, you can see his eyes.
Yeah.
They're not covered. He, it seems generally interested in all of this junk. And when he sort of motions forward and points, to the different random items while he's talking, there are tattoos all over his hand, front and back. And on that brilliance, it's almost as if he showed them to you, because he could have kept his hands, and not moved.
Yeah.
He's clearly practiced at hiding himself, so he definitely shows these to you as a sort of like test.
I take a note, but I don't try and react, at least.
Okay. And he'll say something like, so you teach magic?
Of course, yes. We standardize and try and teach and just elevate everybody, really.
And what sets these courses apart from other institutes of magical learning?
Well, of course, ours is focused on bringing the general knowledge into a professional knowledge in general in the population, and then going beyond in certain cases, but generally it's to help the empire and to ensure that the common man can have an education.
So you would promote magical knowledge to all individuals, regardless of application or house standing?
Of course.
Do you have any skills or spells you'd be willing to show as a demonstration? From yourself, of course.
I could certainly have a quick go, absolutely. What would you like to see? I've got a bit of fire, we've got ice, I've got nature magic,
Whatever you
anti-nature
think
magic.
Anti-nature magic, you say? Interesting concept.
It's more, yeah.
What should be a fireball?
Yes. I would like to see this anti-magic.
So it'd be sort of like, I guess I'd probably have just a little sproutling or something, a plant.
Sure.
So obviously, if you need to quickly, clear something, like for instance, like if a fire was spreading, you need to quickly get rid of this material. We've developed ways to quickly sap all the flammableness out of it. And I would just try and demonstrate with a wilt, like a spell. It will just completely turn it to dust, basically.
Yeah, we'll roll a performance, a presence. Oh, well, you're using magic. Well, it probably wouldn't be combat.
No.
Against the
Plan.
Yeah.
I lose.
So you think it's a brilliance magic roll?
Yeah.
Are you going to use any spells or any abilities?
I have an ability called Demonstrate.
Okay.
That's the exact reason. Yeah.
Perfect.
He is so prepared.
I'm planned.
He's so prepared.
Yeah, your spells are just spot on.
Yeah. Okay, plus 3 plus 2. That's an 18, I believe.
18. Okay, and you just
Yes.
put out a fire, I guess.
Well, I would be putting out just completely, just sort of evaporating the plant, basically.
Oh, okay.
It's sort of
So-
like, you know how you would they do sort of control burns to stop a fire. In this case, I'm just getting rid of the wild.
Would you say
Oh,
the
sort of.
spell like erases it, or is it more like a dematerialization, or does it fall into ash, or
It sort of
How does it
falls into an ash. It's designed to be like an ash that doesn't burn.
oh, okay.
So it's more for like firefighting, like to stop like fire getting out of control.
let's see how impressive this is, I guess.
It's like anti-major magic, I think, is like flood protection and, you know, stopping nature's disasters and stuff.
Very interesting. Would this have what sort of effect would it have on someone else's magic?
What do you mean?
For example, if there was an aggressor who was attempting to burn down your house, for example, with a magically started fire.
Well, in that instance, I would say that yes, you could. If it was an approaching fire, you could absolutely use this to stop and get rid of anything that burns in front of the fire. It's quite clear though. If you've got the ability in that case, maybe water would be better for you. Just
True.
some ice.
So basic level magic could also just.
Well, if you were defending yourself, yes, but if you needed to work on a larger area with a certain specialty, if you, for instance, had a raging fire that was out of control and you needed a large amount of people trained in the exact same way to prevent this fire from spreading, then that is what we could provide.
Of course. He darts his eyes sort of around just to check out everything else real quick, including the diffused bomb, and then begins to walk away, or says, thank you for the information and the demonstration, and begins to walk away towards the food.
Of course, would you like to take a prospectus with you?
Prospectus? What do you
It's got
mean?
all our courses in it. If you'd like to sign up, an idea of the length and what you'd get from each of them. Progression points beyond that as well.
Reaches out to take your pamphlet, I guess, with his again tattooed hand. Same one, not the other one.
I would try and sort of take a memory of it as well, so I could draw it later. Or immediately after he's gone.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too difficult. He's moving his hand pretty slow, and he just takes it and folds it back into his clothing, and then says thank you. And walks away. And I'm gonna roll this real quick. Ooh, whoops. With an ability. 5. 5.
Trips and falls.
Well, this is a spell.
I was crying.
As he walks away, a torch next to you just goes out. He doesn't say anything. He doesn't move his hands. He just walks away and makes it darker next to you somehow.
Gotcha.
And continues to walk into the food. Oh, yeah. Well, imagine. I was trying to roll better than that.
That's just inconvenient, and I'd probably just start it back up without any kind of hand movement or saying anything. I'm not an expert the same way the professors are, but it wouldn't take me much effort as well. So, well, yeah, I can do that.
He probably was also, not trying to make himself known or a target or anything. He was just trying to indicate that the removal of something is doable by him as well, without any extra work. Cool. So as it slightly annoys Gerald, our session will end. It went super long, but introducing Gob and pulling in everything and then having people drop in all this stuff, it's just the nature of it. So I apologize for going long, but if you both want to write up letters of saying like, hey, come join us or whatever, you're welcome to send them to them or send them to me and I'll send them to them. Or I can write it up sort of like as you receive a message from this house. It says this stuff. Please join us at night, at this time, so that you can all meet up together. If you choose to split, that's totally cool too. And next time we will pick up outside the House of Note as it quiets.
Sick.
Okay. Awesome.
Thanks for playing and hanging and doing all the stuff.
Yeah, super fun.
I'm having fun telling the story, and the most fun thing, and I'm so happy that I chose this, is that because you're all different and you all came from different places, you all know different stuff. And so even when you're talking to each other, you're saying things that the other person doesn't know, and it's so fun because I know it all and I'm like so that's really cool. So yeah, thanks. It's dope. I like it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cool. I'm going to end the stream and take us somewhere else. So have a great rest of your night.
Thank you.
Have a great night. Speaking of night, can you?
Yeah.
Is it possible? I don't know if I asked this already. Is it possible in this program of yours to alter the time of day?
Yeah. It's done like this. Hold on.
We'll be sick playing this the same map at night in a different time of day.
Atmosphere settings. It has. Oh, okay.
I'm gonna go feed this cat, so goodbye.
Cool. Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.
Default sky, darkness, which looks like this.
Sick. That's gonna be cool. Okay.
Yeah, it
nice.
Yep. And then it also has other filters, but I don't want to use them simply because it just makes like weird colors. So like, hold on, where is it? A green slump. It's just green. Like, okay, that doesn't really. That doesn't do very much, and so like space, okay, it's just harsher. Yeah, it's harsher shadows, but it doesn't really change it, you know what I mean?
So there's no like afternoon or slider you could adjust. That's kind of sad. I like the nighttime.
There's an exposure, so you can make it brighter and darker like that. There's a fog multiplier, which can make things, misty or whatever. And then post effects, which is, again, colors and stuff. So I do think you could make afternoon, make it warmer and then change the shadows and stuff.
Then you would need to like turn a lot of knobs for that. I don't know.
Yeah. Exactly. Turn a lot of knobs. So yeah, it can be done, and it does have that, but of all the things we've talked about that we could play on and stuff, this one doesn't make sense because you can't just join. If you could just join and move your character around on my board with my account, that would be so sick.
Yeah.
But you can't. So it's just for looks for us, yeah. I'm going to work on the little map thing that I wanted to provide to everyone, so that you can choose easier where to go. But I didn't do it. I forgot, and then I broke it. So
that's fine.
I was trying, and then it broke. But yeah, cool.
All right.
Any other questions about anything?
No, I was just
cool.
curious. I was curious about that.
Cool.
Thank you very much for hosting this. It's been very fun.
Yeah.
Till the next one.
It's my pleasure. See you later.
Bye.
Have hearts. Have hearts. Have hearts. Have hearts.